Grand Prix of Figure Skating 2023-24, Osaka, Japan. In a few minutes, we'll begin the competition for Junior Men Short Program.
ご来場のお客様にお願い申し上げます。会場内は禁煙です。競技中のお席でのご飲食はご遠慮ください。カメラ、スマートフォンおよびタブレット端末による写真撮影並びにビデオ撮影は禁止されております。また携帯電話、スマートフォンはマナーモードに設定してください。緊急地震速報 J アラートが発表された場合は場内アナウンスにてご連絡いたします。花束やプレゼントの投げ込みは禁止されております。また身を乗り出してのご観戦や演技中の大きな声での会話などは周りのお客様のご迷惑になりますのでご遠慮ください。
We would like to remind you that smoking is not permitted in the arena and flash photography as well as video recording is forbidden. Please set your phones to silent mode. Please be also reminded that it is strictly forbidden to throw any items such as gifts and flowers onto the ice at any time. Thank you very much for your cooperation.
競技に先立ちまして審判団および技術役員をご紹介いたします。
Prior to the competition, let us introduce to you the officials of this event. Please welcome
Referee,
the referee, Miss Emily Billon. Judge number 1, Miss Rui Sun, China.
2番ジャッジ
Judge number 2, Miss Lisa Yerevan, Australia.
3番ジャッジ
Judge number 3, Miss Pernilla Ulen, Finland.
4番ジャッジ
Judge number 4, Miss Susan Petrovicevic, New Zealand.
5番ジャッジ
Judge number 5, Miss Ismail Sarayu Daksini, Malaysia.
6番ジャッジ
Judge number 6, Miss Elaine Zega, Canada.
7番ジャッジ
Judge number 7, Mr. Tetsuo Abe, Japan.
8番ジャッジ
Judge number 8, Miss Anna Kanto, Israel.
「
Welcome everyone to week number 4 on the Aiju Junior Grand Prix. This week from Osaka, Japan, I'm your host Ted Barton. I'm currently in Montreal and I bring into the broadcast Mark Hanratty, who is in Nottingham, England, joining the broadcast from thousands of kilometers away as we take a look at the outside of the facility in Osaka for week number 4. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you, Ted. And
I was worried that you weren't there.
That's what I felt all last week, panic.
It is amazing, and we are joining viewers from around the world, just like you, who are watching this on the screen. So neither of us are at this event, and this is the first one that's ever happened like this. We welcome you. It's sort of like sitting around the living room, enjoying skating together, having a chat as we take a look at at the officials for this event. And it's just remarkable, at least at this point, how well technology is working, because you never know.
Yes. Yeah, and I think such trusted hands in the International Skating Union and Swiss Timing and everybody involved behind the scenes to allow us to get the opportunity to see and enjoy the skating and the skating community descending upon Osaka for this event.
And just a little bit more background, we have, of course, our one of our engineers and technician, Roberto, in his production truck in, I think it's just outside Milan. We have a partial crew in Osaka with Naomi and Rosa, I believe. There are some others, I'm not sure, who's all over there. And so this production is really around the world. And, of course, thanks to Asahi TV, who are providing the feed for us. So it's quite remarkable as we take a look at the starting order for the Junior Men's Short program. It is a remarkable occurrence. This is our first ever, so it's a little bit of history that you're watching here, folks, and we hope that you're enjoying this. We want you to send your questions in to social media and ISU and your thoughts and where you're watching from around the world, because we're always interested in what parts of the world are watching. Many countries that don't even have an ice rink are viewing the Junior Grand Prix around the world, and we're thrilled that you've joined us. So up next, Mark, the Men's Short program. What are your thoughts?
Well, I get excited at this point. Different parts to the Junior Grand Prix series. At the beginning, it's exciting to see the improvements made, and now we look at this first warm-up group and its opportunity to see the likes of Francois Pitot, who already has 13 points. He's already got a silver medal on the series. To see now what will happen with his outcomes here as to whether or not that will secure him a spot at the final. So, just as I say, different parts to the series and different excitements.
Yeah, it's interesting because some of these skaters, this is their second competition, so they've already got their feet under them. They've already had a competition. They may be a little bit more comfortable and confident. And then you've got some who are just starting their Junior Grand Prix series this season, coming out first time. So it's a little bit of a mix. So you're going to see some more experience and some new on the circuit. So that's always makes it interesting. And as we saw, Mark, in the rhythm dance, that team from Japan, who kind of shocked us a little bit because we hadn't seen them yet, and they were just wonderful. Yeah,
it's such a good example of the Japanese team who were so brilliant and so new, and then equally the flip side of that, which we hope doesn't happen to anybody else, but Jinny Kim and Namu Lee, a team who had got a bronze medal already in the Grand Prix, and then that kind of may have adversely affected a little bit or applied a little bit more pressure to them coming into this event, which they might not have felt otherwise had they had that success. So I suppose it's just as athletes getting accustomed to all sorts of scenarios and then learning how to judge the emotional, knock-on effect of that on their training and their preparation.
Well, we had a conversation a little earlier before we started the broadcast about Mao Shimada, and we're going to mention about that, but it's the same thing with the Korean dance team. Expectations. What are your expectations when you come into an event? First time out on the Junior Grand Prix, no expectations. Korean team skates well, comes third. Now they have their own expectations coming to the second one, so they're a little bit tight on that. Mao Shimada, world junior champion, of course, and really phenomenal skater, named after Mao Osada. And so, but she's going to have to stay in juniors for quite a while. So how do you keep your motivation? Interesting discussion.
Yeah, really fascinating. And then how do the teams, not just the skaters, but then how do teams deal with that? And then what's almost not more interesting this season, but different this season, is how do the teams prepare a skater for that when that's a new world that Mao Shimada would find herself in, whereby if you'd been junior world champion, wow, Anthony Paradis showing some amazing flex lever
that was
flexibility.
nice.
But, but you know, for Mao Shimada, she would have been, prior to the age changes, she would have gone up to seniors next season, so she might not have had as long a plan at juniors. The coaches would never have had to prepare for this before, so then they've had to, you know, reapproach or reconsider perhaps the direction that they take. So everybody been given a little bit of a new path.
We talked about this, is that for most people it doesn't impact them because we think this is a great change. The juniors will stay in there longer, they will grow and mature, and then we'll see them as seniors. But it does impact those young stars that come on the Junior Grand Prix and start to win right away, anxious to move to seniors, and they can't, and things change and maybe slow the development down. So we never really talked about that, and we don't know that that would actually happen. We'll find out over the next few seasons with the skaters such as Mao Shimada, but it's an interesting point we hadn't really thought about before. But we'll watch that and follow it as all these skaters, you know, continue to grow and mature in their junior years.
Also, I can't help but feel excited, and I suppose I was always feeling worried and pressured. So it's maybe me impressing my anxieties on the skaters, but for the likes of Masaya Mishima, who's in this group now, getting to represent Japan. We've spoken about how Japan obviously is such a strong skating nation, particularly in the singles, and so getting to be on the Japanese skating team on a Junior Grand Prix, major accomplishment, majorly exciting. Doing that in front of a home crowd, off the scale exciting, but equally perhaps a little bit more pressure. So each skater has their own different kind of pressures upon them.
Yeah, no question. And as we move along on the Junior Grand Prix, it just becomes more interesting. The stories begin to unfold and the numbers begin to add up for the top 6 skaters who may qualify for the Junior Grand Prix, and it can change from week to week. And we'll be covering that a little bit more detail next week in Budapest. Of course, we'll get back with our production crew. We'll have a little bit more control. We'll be calling our own replays, plus some schedules. We'll keep you up to date, and of course the video playbacks on the ice resurfacing as well. So we're in a little bit of a different production level here, taking a great feed from Sai TV, and of course broadcasting remotely. So interesting next week back. Now you'll be at home, of course. I'll be on site, and then we'll be together for the final 2 in Gdansk and Yerevan.
Scarcely comprehensible to think that when you say it like that, Ted, that it's going to be over. It doesn't seem like we've been at it long, and yet so many, it's like, but so many skaters have like poured months of preparation and considered this even from last year. You know, they've been thinking about for some of them, maybe like Masaya Mishima, who's on the screen now. He will have aspired to competing at a Junior Grand Prix for maybe 3 years. You know, maybe that's something that he's been working towards for a long time.
Yeah,
we just get to enjoy it.
Well, we're not even halfway through, so don't start getting rid of us yet.
Away.
Exactly. We still got some more. So that concludes the warm-up of group number 1. There are 5 groups in this event. There'll be 2 ice resurfacing. After the second group, ice resurfacing. After the 4th group, there'll be an ice resurfacing into the final group. So we'll get started on the first day of competition, second event, the men's short program, coming up right now. And our first competitor, as you can see them just warming up, getting final words of wisdom and encouragement from China, Zhiao Jiang, 14 years old. This is his very first Junior Grand Prix event, very young, excited to be here in Japan, competing for his nation. He'll skate to the sound of Silence by Cinematic Pop.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Come to talk with you again. And the vision that was planted in my brain, within the sound of silence. Restless cobblestone. Neath the halo of a street lamp, I turned my collar to the cold dead. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light, it split the night, touched the sound of silence, and in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never share. No one dare disturb the sound. Fools that I do not know. Silent like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might tease you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words, like silent oranges fell, and the sound of silence.
China's Zhiao Jiang starts the men's short programming. I just thought such a classy skater, great posture, lovely extension, and just that double axel, the Wally entrance, so difficult and turned into a bit of a waxel. So apart from that one element, a really great outing side.
Yeah, that was, I was saying, wow, this skater's got wonderful qualities, and he does all the way through the program. Gets back on the heel on that takeoff a little bit, slips off, and just does a bit of a waxel. Now, that'll be unfortunate. But for a debut in the Junior Grand Prix, wonderful qualities. Young, just 14 years old. You know he's going to grow a lot. Good acceleration as he skated through the program. Beautiful triple lutz, nice and easy. Nice triple toe, patient for the second triple toe. So showed some wonderful qualities and experience to a certain degree at this stage and age.
And I think we're just about to see the loots, but good combination of skating skill and technique. Nice loots, as you say. Lovely.
Beautiful landing. Yeah, wonderful. Here's the triple toe, triple toe. Good speed coming in. Nice and tight and straight and strong in the air. Reloads and gets off the ice very quickly up into the second triple toe. Beautiful quality, and that is in the plus GOE of 0.30, so 8.70 for that one element. And here, watch this going back. Oh, no, actually, he slipped a little bit off the pick, or his foot went away from him. Main body course, so lost balance there, but
and
good flexibility.
interesting.
Mark.
Yeah, Zhao is taught by Xu Gongjia, who previously coached Han Yan, a really successful Chinese skater, and you can see the quality. You can see that lineage of technique, good skating skills, very well rounded.
Sitting nice and straight in the kiss and cry, good strong back. We always mention that, like parents, you know, like sit up straight, whatever, but he does. And that's terrific. Well, let's take a look at the scores. No personal best, so this will be it. First one out. And he has a 53.92. And that, I put Zhiao Jiang from China, first skater out for the moment, into first place. Here we are. And we move from a new skater, first skater out from China, into a very experienced skater, 18-year-old Francois Pitot, second Junior Grand Prix season, second event, taking the silver medal in Bangkok in week 1 on the Junior Grand Prix. Also, he was 12th at the World Juniors last season. Personal best 76.52, so that's a big score, looking to catch that again perhaps. And he'll skate the short program to Separate Ways, Stranger Things by Journey.
Francois Pitot vying for his spot at the Junior Grand Prix final. And Ted, he'd explained to me that the costume and the concept for the short program, the Stranger Things, was inspired by Vecna, and his choreographer Angelique Abitschkina was working on it. And he said there's something special about his costume. I think his costume is lighting up. How cool is that?
Yeah, no, I thought the same thing. I didn't know the story, of course, and I'm watching this until now. I'm watching this going, that's pretty flashy. Like, is there something, you know, like what's happening there? That costume is very unique and shines differently, depends on how he turns. Very effective, really nice. Not that it has anything to do with points, it doesn't, but it connects with the whole theme of things, of course.
And it gives us doesn't it give us an appreciation for not just Francois, but his choreographer and his coach and their process. They obviously be unique and stand out, and I applaud it. It's cool.
Well, Angelique, of course, a wonderful ice dancer. She is creative and innovative. As we take a look at the triple axel, gets that free leg back just in time. Nice, beautiful flow on the landing. And that jump combination, I'm not sure we'll see that. He would just managed to get the double toe off the triple flip. This is the Lutz, and that was beautiful as well. So it's had a great start to the program, right up into the flying sit spin. And that is in level 4 with a plus GOE, so good points earned off of that. Little work on flexibility will help. Here's the flip. Watch, he gets the free leg out late, a little bit late and slow, and couldn't get it around early enough to pop up high enough for the triple toe. So it has to take the hit on the double toe, but still a strong program overall.
Yeah, and he said that after his silver medal in Bangkok, that he was happy after that event and now focused on the next. And although there was that mistake on the combos, he's joined by Coach Romain Ponsat. You sense that he was still focused. The speed into that opening triple axel had no hesitation at all. He was attacking the start.
Yeah, accelerates. There's just no holding back. His personal best, 76.52. Don't think he's going to reach that here with the double toe on the back end of the triple flip, but we'll see. Still, you know, very strong skater overall. Should have a good score here. Should be positioned. We'll see at the end of the event. Pretty close to the top 5, 71.49. And that'll put Francois Pitot currently in the first place, second skater out in the event.
He's currently in first place.
Our next competitor comes from Kazakhstan, 18-year-old Oleg Melnikov. Third Junior Grand Prix season, 35th at the World Junior Championships last year in Calgary. His personal best score is 57.62, earning that back in 2022 at the Dennis 10 Memorial Challenge. And he'll skate the short program here in week number 4 to Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Soundtrack by James Newton Howard.
Well, the fist bump for Oleg Melnikov, just coming out of the finish position slightly early, but you can see the little nod of approval as he assesses what's just been done. Difficult combination of triple loop, and some great spinning as well, Ted.
You know, Mark, I love that music. That's a wonderful piece of music. It's kind of calm and inspiring, all in the same, and it kept him really well organized. Sometimes you get frantic music, it creates a frantic skater. Not in this case, and this young man has some nice nuanced movements and choreographic movements throughout the program. He skated obviously technically very well, double axel, triple loop, you know, squeaked that one out and got a nice triple lutz a little bit later in the program. His fist pumps that's clean for this young man, and this is the first time out on the Junior Grand Prix this season, so great start. We'll see what the scores are going to be as we take a look inside the program at some of the elements.
Interesting, Ted. He told me that he loves hard rock, so that makes that music choice all the more pertinent as he steps up into the axle.
He likes hard rock? Well, that wasn't hard rock.
Yeah.
But, you know,
And
we
so
might see that in the
interesting
free.
yeah.
There's the triple loop. He did not have any speed coming out of the first one, but managed to get around, a little under-rotated. It is under-rotated in the judging system, the second triple loop. A great fight to get through that jump combination. As you can see, a little hitch kick there. And here's the triple lutz quickly off the ice on a lean, but gets the free leg back so quickly. I often talk about that. If you can get that free leg back, no matter where you are, you're going to stand up on that jump one way or the other. Free leg gets stuck forward or to the side, you're probably going to go down. Great job.
Yeah.
Good first outie.
Yeah, and I remember Ted Kirschabel last year, my first Junior Grand Prix on site, and seeing he and his mum, who's his coach, his choreographer, at the airport after the event, and you get a sense of, you know, the life commitment, seeing them both in the airport and realizing, you know, this whole family is there facilitating the chance to represent Kazakhstan as they proudly wave the flag.
Yeah, that's pretty wonderful. You know, he doesn't know it at the time perhaps, or may not appreciate the significance of it, but to do this journey with his mom, you know, coming from Kazakhstan, proud to represent that country, traveling around the world, having a great skate like this in Osaka, week number 4, it's going to be a memory for a long time. 58.01, and that'll put Oleg currently into second place. Francois Pitot is currently in first. As we take a look at the standings, a great job for Oleg Melnikov from Kazakhstan. And there is our skater number 3 from Japan, 16-year-old Masaya Mishima. This is his first Junior Grand Prix event right here at home with the fans. And he's going to skate the short program to United.
gosh. That back hydroglide illusion into that slide type finish position, that to
Yeah.
me, really impressive from Masaya.
That's not easy. He ended on like one hand on the ice, trying to hold that position. Got out of it quickly, mind you, but no, that was not easy. That's for sure. Interesting enough, okay, out of the 7 elements, there are 4 that are under review. The spin's just a level 1, level 2, and a level 4 with a V. So, there's some challenge with the spins, a little bit of flexibility, but a good, strong Japanese skater. Obviously, have great basic skating skills. And we did the triple axel late in the program, Mark, as we take a look at the triplets.
And leaving the axle so late made me nervous there, the loop.
Yeah, 2-foot landing and under rotation on the double. Here's the triple axel late in the program, trying to get extra points as skids and overturns that takeoff edge, so gets a little wonky in the air and has to step out. It was a bit of a surprise move to have that so late, but obviously can do it and wanted to gain from second half.
Well, it makes you wonder because he was, I say, only 24th at Japanese junior nationals. Now, I mean, the standard of competitive skating in Japan is so incredible that still 24th in Japanese juniors is amazing. Oh, we get to see the repeat of the end. That's cool. But maybe, the Japanese Skating Federation recognize he might not be consistent, but there's something interesting and special about Masaya Mishima that makes him, a skater they're considering putting on the Junior Grand Prix.
And there are 3 Japanese skaters in this event, so there is some room to get younger skaters or get other skaters some experience that may normally not have been able to get out.
And even the music choice, like there's some unique raw energy here, and I kind of feel this is a skater that could post over 70 like Francois Pitot. Just maybe this is the experience that will give him the opportunity to just hone in on consistency, maybe even simplifying things a little bit to make it easier for the judges to go with him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously the spins are an area that, there's still pretty good spins, but in Japan, you have to be at the best to get out of that country. So the spins are an area that he can really significantly improve the score. He's a jumper. You can see that, even though there was an issue with the triple axel, but still some work on the spins is going to go a long ways to helping him just in his own nation. Well, 54.58 for Masaya. That is 3rd in the short program. And we take a look at the top 4 skaters so far in this event. Well, our next skater comes from Canada, 16-year-old Anthony Paradis, 2nd Junior Grand Prix season national junior bronze medalist, but was the Canadian champion in 2022. Won the bronze last year in 2023 in juniors, 58.19 personal best, earning that on the Junior Grand Prix last season in Gdansk. And he'll start the short program to ace in the hole.
Well, I think Anthony Paradis from Canada is one of the most fascinating and creative skaters on the scene, and I can't wait for hopefully a time when he can marry his creative composition with a technical clean skate, because there's so much
absolutely.
he has to offer.
Wonderful work done by Yvan Desjardins and Vélan Imad from Montreal. And this skater, he's kind of an enigma. There is very few skaters in the world that are as unique and different and special and sort of transforming as Anthony Paradis, no question. The question will be, what kind of athlete does he want to be remembered at? He is a strong skater, but is he as disciplined in the technical work that he is, as we see him on the screen in this wonderfully creative and innovative choreography? So you take a look at the triple Lutz. You can do all these. It's a little under rotated, hands go down. You can see just not the consistency yet. And I've watched this young man for the last couple of years. We've seen the brilliance of his performance as he singles the axle. The lack of concentration perhaps on those few seconds that the technical jumps are executed. Look at the cantilever coming down the ice. And here's the triple toe loop. This is pretty good. Not as high as he normally gets. Try to push up higher and just doesn't get that free leg back in time. So there's some work to do technically, but if this young man, as you mentioned, puts the sport with the art at an equal level, watch out, because he's completely unique, as we see, interesting and entertaining.
Yeah, and the camera guys can find so many parts in this program that are worthy of rewatching. And I'd actually read a quote when you said, what does he want? I'd read that he wants to be remembered for his artistry and creativity, and I won't forget him. We need him to nail the technical stuff to get more people to see it and to be remembered. So hopefully, that'll all level out, because even down to the costume, even down to the snake charmer type storyline that I feel is in the costume. He did that single axle, and then the back three turn into that spread eagle with this crazy, amazing arm movement was phenomenal. But unfortunately, that single axle is so incredibly costly that back three spread eagle might not be seen by many people.
Well, look, he's already successful from the perspective of innovation and interest. We all talk about it. Everybody does. So no problem there. He's already made his mark. That won't change because he's that good. The challenge for him will be, it's his decision. He can do what he wants. How does he want to be remembered as the all-around skater, both technically and creatively? Certainly one of the best in the world, without question, creatively, in juniors at least. As we wait for the scores, there's Yvan Desjardins and the Kiss and Cry. 56.29. That's third in the short program. Of course, good PC scores in the high sixes, so that really helps him with that score. And you put those technical elements in there, that score is even that much bigger. So great potential, and we'll be pulling for him to continue to develop that as this season progresses. Next group taken to the ice for their warm-up. So interesting, Mark, the difference in stages of development and strengths of all the skaters from around the world. I mean, in seniors, it's a little bit more balanced. Everybody's different, which is great, but they're all pretty good. There's certain sort of standard, but in juniors, everything is new and different. And as we see, young skater from New Zealand taking the very first Junior Grand Prix medal ever for that country. He's special.
Yeah. And like you say, Ted, seeing the differences, and I often think, rightly or wrongly, I could be completely off point here, but when you see a skater perform, more so perhaps out with the realms of competition when there are so many requirements that take their focus, but often if you see a skater perform, you get a little bit of an insight into their mentality and their brain space. And so you see Anthony Paradis, who's just, you can see, oozing creativity and just joyfully eager to share that. And then you get somebody maybe like Francois Pitot, who also creative, but in a very different manner. He had the costume that lit up. That was fascinating, but such a different route that he took. And I just, it's an amazing insight into the different sports people. That's what makes our sport so wonderful, unlike maybe some more clinical, technical stuff.
Their programs are like their fingerprints. They're all unique and different to them, right? And that's what makes the sport so cool. is that they're quite different, just like everyone's fingerprint is. And so that's what it's like, a variety show. You never know what you're going to get next, right? Or maybe that's like a box of chocolates when you don't know
The Forest.
how the movie. Yeah, exactly. Forrest Gump. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we see Casper Johansson from Sweden, unique skater, and watching all the young men take to the ice and utilize his 6 minutes. And for those that it's their very first competition, it's a little like, I don't want to say intimidating, but I suppose exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time.
And I wonder now, Ted, if on the 4th stop of the Junior Grand Prix, if all the skaters on the ice are just really, really mindful now. They know, confirmation of what kind of scores are being achieved and what's been happening, and perhaps even then, now as we reach the halfway point, if their fellow skaters from their own nation, they're getting maybe the chance to see what scores they're posting too, because obviously that will be a big factor for some of them as to ultimately end of season the coveted spot to go to Junior Worlds. Junior Grand Prix, amazing achievement. Junior Worlds narrowing down the the number of skaters that can get to represent the nation.
Very good point. Very good point. And you're right. With the streaming, these skaters that are first out here, their first competition here in Osaka or next week in Budapest, they've been watching the Junior Grand Prix, so they sort of know the standard. And everybody has different strategies. Some people say, let's get out early, let's be well prepared, and let's get those points if we can get a top finish. And others say, I want to have a little bit longer to prepare and see what I need to do to get those points. But the longer you leave it, the more prepared the athletes are when they get to, like, Budapest, Gdansk, and Yerevan. So everybody has a bit of a different strategy. Beautiful triple flip.
Yeah, it doesn't he just the length that Yanhao Li from New Zealand has in his jumping passes, and I think that's so impressive. I think, again, rightly or wrongly, but over the last 20 years, we've seen more length. I mean, that's just such a long combination.
That is really remarkable from Yanhao Li from New Zealand, just very special.
And it interests me how techniques have, I don't know if evolved, tweaked, changed, but certainly skaters appear to be going for longer lower rather than high. I think that's perhaps conservation. I think that's maybe the way the system is reprioritizing, the value of jumps later in the program. So a little bit of a conservation in terms of drive up, more about speed and length. I think it's definitely a difference.
Well, also
Urmanov.
That's related to the GOE, because the quality and the speed maintained through a jump combination, for instance, same speed in and out of the jump. So I think that that momentum going into the jump, carried through the air onto the landing, is very critical for a high GOE score. So I think they're very aware of that, and I think that's why we see those jumps a little longer, not perhaps as high. Second jump in a combination usually is a little bit higher, but keeping that flow so important for GOEs, and that one didn't work, but that's okay.
And what a great advert, an example of it with Min-Kyu So last week, who just, the ice coverage and the speed he had was just similar actually to Yanhao Li on the screen now. Similar kind of focus, I think, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly. So we hope this young man will have another great skate, first really top flight skater from New Zealand that we've seen for many, many years, and he'll motivate his country to take note, and more people will watch in New Zealand. And I'm sure people are up right now watching this competition. We welcome viewers from New Zealand, my homeland. I was born in Auckland many decades, many half centuries ago. But we celebrate the flag and we celebrate this young man who is representing his country at such a high level and such pride, and hopefully he'll start a new generation of skaters. And excitement in New Zealand for the sport of figure skating. It's always been a little bit of struggle. Rugby's been the big one. The All Blacks, of course. Hopefully skating will take a little bit of that market.
ニュー
You
ジ
see
ー
a
ラ
hug
ン
right
ド
now
On the
from
ice,
his coach Pascal.
representing New Zealand,
15-year-old
Yanhao
Yanhao Li from New Zealand, second junior Grand Prix, second event this fall, taking the bronze medal in Bangkok week 1 on the junior Grand Prix. What a great outing that was for this young man. We wish him the very best here in week number 4, second junior Grand Prix of this season. 72.28, personal best score in the short. Heel skate to Supreme by Robbie Williams.
Oh, it seemed forever stopped today. All lonely hearts in London caught a plane and flew away. And all the best women are married, all the handsome men are gay. You feel deprived. Yeah, are you questioning your size? Is there a tumor in your humor? Are the bags under your eyes? Do you leave dance where you sit? Are you getting on a bit? Will you survive? You must survive. In town, this new century keeps bringing you down. All the places you have been, trying to find a love supreme, a love supreme.
Yanhao Li from New Zealand, known to his friends as Dwayne. I think you can see he is so frustrated over the changed camel spin. I'm not sure if he gets sufficient features to get anything callable on it. And outside of that one element, confirmation that this is a skater of the highest quality.
Yeah, and a skater of the future as well. You know, he has really good basic choreographic movement, and, you know, no expression yet on the face yet. This is going to come in time, but his commitment to some of the choreography in there was really big. Like, he reached out. It was really good. Not throughout the whole program, but you could see elements of that. Jumping, unbelievable. The explosion off the ice and across the ice, I think is probably the best on the Junior Grand Prix at this point. It's just remarkable when you watch how he leaps forward on this double axel. Look at the distance. Floats nice and softly back to the ice. And it's just really remarkable. You see a little bit more in full speed. And great lift. Just really great.
And yeah, and his coach was telling us that she's taught him since he was 6 or 7 years old, and so such respect as we look now at the Lutz. That technique is so clean, so efficient. There, that gorgeous running edge into the back bracket almost. You know, to have had this from that early development in a nation that's not a strong skating nation she's had to have, I assume, so much vision. She's had to have so much vision.
Yes.
She knows what kind of skater she wanted to create when that wasn't something that they were surrounded by in New Zealand. And so I'm sure he's incredibly grateful. And she actually said that he now looks after her and the teammates when they're abroad. He's a smart guy, gets the foreign public transport sorted. So teamwork indeed.
Wow. It's amazing. You know, he's got a bright, bright future, no question. Let's take a look at the short program scores. Personal best was 72.28. This is 71.39. And for that camel spin to be an issue, it came in at a 2. That's okay. It's, yeah, it's a little bit short, but look how close, just 1/10 of a point out of the lead. Wow.
Impressive.
Brilliant, brilliant future this young man has. It'll be a lot of fun watching. He'll be in the Junior Grand Prix for a number of years yet to come.
On the ice, representing Australia,
From Australia, Kryshtof Pradeaux. First Junior Grand Prix event.
The 15-year-old from Sydney, Kryshtof Pradeaux, and amazingly, Ted, this young skater in his first Junior Grand Prix will be competing again next week in the pairs discipline, which kind of blows my mind.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that does. Wow, I have to speak to him when we get to Budapest. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And interesting, you can see, you know, he's got some work to do on the spins. They're just sort of level ones and whatnot, but powerful. That triple Lutz just took off. That was really nice. Missed the combination, but, you know, just sort of in development, and doing two disciplines. Yeah. Not easy. 2 Junior Grand Prix back to back. Singles for the first one, pairs for the second. There's the double axel. Nice and clean. Just details, point the toes, stretch the free leg, that type of thing as we take a look at the triple flip. And 2-foot landing, too far forward, can't hang on. and has to take the fall, but comes back with a nice triple Lutz. A little bit forward on the landing, but good technique, good lift all the way around. Well done.
And I was thinking, Ted, Kryshtof is here with his mom, and you get the Russian split jump there, fun to see. You know, for him to share, as we've seen so many times on the Junior Grand Prix at many events, family member working with them. You know, when we are skaters, it's in our blood, it's in our, you know, our whole genetic makeup seems consumed with us being figure skaters. She shared that with her son, and now they're experiencing this in Japan, representing Australia. Just, you know, really special moment. Can't underestimate it.
Memories for a lifetime. And she knows that. Mom knows that.
Yeah.
The boy doesn't know that yet. But when when he's 30 years old, 35 years old, he will remember that as something very, very special in his life. And that's just magic. That is just part of the life. Sometimes when you're young, you don't know what you're experiencing until you don't have the chance to experience that again, and you look back at it in a different way. And what a special moment. You can see the great support by Mom, and it's always a fine balance. You've talked about that often, because we have a lot of parents teaching their children on the Junior Grand Prix, and it's always an interesting, complicated, charming, delightful, tough scenario.
Yeah. And I suppose the good thing for Barbara is now he's seeing all those great skaters that she said emulate. Now he's seen it. I'm sure his improvement rate will.
Exactly. Well, 42.18 for Kryshtof, and that'll put him currently into 7th place at this stage of the competition. Well, our next competitor represents Sweden, 17-year-old Casper Johansson, second Junior Grand Prix season, second event this year, coming 12th in Bangkok, week 1. Also, he was 23rd last year at the World Junior Championships in Calgary. Very powerful, covers the ice beautifully, effortless into the air. Wants to put a nice clean program down here, 64.64 personal best in Bangkok in the short program. And he'll skate to I Didn't Know My Own Strength.
Lost touch with my soul. I had nowhere to turn, I had nowhere to go. Lost sight of my dream, thought it would be the end of me. I thought I'd never make it through. I had no hope to hold on to. I thought I would break. I didn't know my own strength. Found hope in my heart. I found the light to light my way out of the dark. Found all that I need here inside of me. Oh, I thought I'd never find my way. I thought I'd never live that way. I thought I would break. I didn't know my own strength, and I crashed down, and I tumbled, but I did not crumble. I got through all the pain. I didn't know my strength. Survived the darkest time, thinking you were wrong. I was not built to break. I didn't know my own strength. There were so many times I wonder how I get through the night. I thought I took all that I could take. I didn't know my own strength, and I crashed down, and I tumbled, but I did not crumble. I got through all the pain. I didn't know my strength. Hold my head up high. There was nothing to break. And I crashed down, on strength.
Well, Casper Johansson from Sweden showcasing his maturity, his experience, and his wisdom that the fall in the opening element didn't show in any of his commitment to the remaining elements in the program. He really impressed me with the way that he conducted himself, despite what must have been a really frustrating start to the program.
Yeah, I've always liked this young man skating. He's quite tall, so he has great reach of space around him, carries speed across the ice beautifully. He's nice and tight and strong in the air, and always wanting him just to get that perfect program out, because he also has something in the soul that you can see in the come out in the choreography. And but there always seems to be something that's preventing him from getting that not perfect, but the hope. Everything together that he's trained to do. He's a really, really good skater. And that fall in the first element, oh boy, that was really difficult. He was trying to get the free leg back for the triple toe loop and looked like it just got stuck. I'm not sure if we'll see that element coming up. Here it is, I think. There's a triple flip, nice and straight and tall in the air, but yeah, a little under rotated. Free leg was stuck in front, couldn't get it back. Double axel, nice off the end of the edge, speed and flow into some turns, brackets, 3 turns twizzle. And then
the
here
exit
is
of this Ted. From here, stepping onto the right inside edge. That's so different to land and then step, change circle, right inside. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, he really changes direction extremely well. He's got good soft knees as well. So there's a lot of good things about Casper Johansson from Sweden, and hoping that he's going to get those perfect performances, or those clean performances rather, throughout the season as he progresses. So yeah, some really nice skating in this program. Well done.
And there with longtime coach Regina Jensen, and I just seen a picture of him at his first Junior Grand Prix when he was 13, and he's grown so much. So
Short program scores for Casper is 57.15, and that will put him currently into 4th place. And that is really about 6 points shy of his personal best, so a little disappointing with that, but good skater. Much more to come throughout the season. We'll hope to see him at the Junior World Championships later on this year. Our next competitor represents Ukraine, 17-year-old Vadym Novikov, 3rd Junior Grand Prix season, 2nd event this year, coming 15th in week number 2 in Linz. Top score of 54.82, his personal best 47.60 was his season's best, skating to concerto number 4 in F minor.
Vadym Novikov, the 17-year-old from Odessa in Ukraine. He had started more successfully than in Linz. He managed the triple-triple combination here, but the fall in the triple lutz in Austria in his first junior Grand Prix may have lay heavy in his brain space because he just singled that jump here.
Yeah, back in 2021 in Courchevel, he had a 54.82, so he's skating at a really high level. Then, of course, the world turned upside down, and where do you train and where do you go? I mean, everything so difficult from skaters from Ukraine. So, you know, maybe the number of months and years off the ice while trying to get your life organized and back on track to some degree, you know, had an impact on this. But good skater, just, you know, tough outing here. We're going to take a look at the double axel. Beautiful ride off the end of the edge. Soft knee. Look how that knee bend just absorbs the landing. That's exactly what you want. And as we take a look at the triple flip, gets free leg back right away. Up into the triple toe loop. That free leg action for those young skaters, get it back as quickly as you can, particularly for combinations. As we take a look at the change camel spin, that was in a level 2, so missing 2 features. Here is the pop, rushes this and opens it up on the way up, and that is costly. And get 0 points for that.
And just he changes edge here, but I don't think he manages to get sufficient rotations in, just deviating on the edge. So the flying sit coming at a level 2. I'm sure he could, I'm sure in practice he can get level 3, probably level 4 in the flying sit, but again, somewhat easy points for which to amass as the season progresses and he gets a few more competitive assignments under his belt.
Short program score for Vadym, 51.12, and that'll put Vadym Novikov from Ukraine currently into 8th place at this stage of the competition. There is a look at your leaderboard, your top 3. This is Vadym's season's best, as we heard the announcer say. As we take a look at the final skater in group number 2, representing Philippines, 17-year-old Brandon James Baldoz, first junior Grand Prix event. He's coached by Rafael Aratunian and Vera Aratunian. Skate the short program here to come together by the Beatles.
17-year-old Brandon James Baldoz from the Philippines. We didn't get to see him compete in Bangkok. He was assigned to do some events, domestic events in California, and withdrew. So great to see him finally complete his short program here.
Yeah, interesting, really interesting. That last piece of music, same thing, was come together, but it was sung by Michael Jackson. You saw some Michael Jackson-esque moves in that come together, which sort of married the, you know, the eras, if you will. And also, if we get a look at this, I'm not sure, the triple lutz, you'll see him dragging his blade, his picking blade, to slow himself down. Did you pick that up?
It was
Yeah,
like
like
a
I'm going, wow,
outside skid. That's hard.
Yeah, like that was really weird. I'm going, that's kind of making it more difficult, but I guess it just slowed him down to the speed that he was comfortable with on the takeoff. Overall, I mean, the techniques needs a lot of work on the jumps, no question. But this young man, we saw in the practice session, or in the warm-up, couldn't do the triple flip. Did it in his program. Okay, it has its issues, and the lutz as well. So he's got under rotation problems, but he stood up on both of them, and they were challenged even in the practice. Here's the triple flip, swings that upper body around. That's downgraded or under rotated, pardon me, a triple flip double toe loop. And watch right there, you saw the blade dragging. This triple flip or triple lutz is downgraded. You saw him land forward, but he still was on his feet, so that was an accomplishment on that. And you can see some nice moves in there. He likes the connection with the music and the choreography. He excels at that and has some work still technically to do. That's okay.
But as we've touched on with some of the other skaters, you can see a glimpse into the character here, and he's obviously somebody, even just picking Michael Jackson, says, you know, he's confident about his body movement, he wants to express himself. That's really cool. And now, you know, he trains with the likes of Ilya Malin, and he works with some of the best in the world, so he will be mindful of the need to continue cleaning that technique to facilitate better grades of execution and clean call.
I'm sure he will. He's in great environment and loves to say, you can see that in his performance. 38.68 for Brandon, and that'll put him currently in the 10th place, but great experience gained here. He'll go home and continue his work. And we'll see as he progresses through the season, everything will start to come together at a much higher standard, no question. Well, that ends group number 2 in the men's short program. We're going to take a short break. Mark, are you cleaning dishes now, or what are you doing there at home?
I'll continue tidying out my studio garage so that I have something as good as your setup at home.
Okay, well done. We'll be back after the ice resurfacing.
We are here to celebrate the first inaugural World Ice Skating Day. And World Ice Skating Day is a single day specifically to celebrate the fun and the joy of ice skating across the globe. Lots of fun, lots of smiles, and a great way to celebrate this first day of World Ice Skating.
Switch!
Welcome back, everyone, to week number 4 in the ISU Junior Grand Prix event. We're watching the men's short program, group number 3, about to take to the ice. Mark, joining me from Nottingham in the UK. I'm here in Montreal, and of course the competition is in Osaka. What an interesting and historic, really, day of coverage on the Junior Grand Prix. We've never done this before, so it's a first for us, and we're glad that you've joined us from around the world, kind of like we're all sitting together and watching the event and taking it all in. Mark, welcome back.
Thanks, Ted. How fun it is to imagine. It's almost like obviously Wimbledon tennis is a big thing here in the UK, and you get crowds of
What's a
people
big thing around the
joining
world?
in.
Come on.
Well, true. True, good point.
Yeah.
But you get crowds of people on the, watching Wimbledon from the side. I like this idea of maybe crowds of skating fans gathering around a mutual screen, although just separated by miles.
Yeah, no, and also, what we've done here in Canada a couple of times is people have had parties. So they get together, the people that like the Junior Grand Prix, and they have a dinner party or a breakfast party, depending where you are in the world. And they watch the Junior Grand Prix or the broadcast together, and they watch their friends and colleagues in skating. So for any of you out there that enjoy and you have friends watching as well, get together on one of these broadcasts and have a party. Let us know where you're watching from and what you're eating and or drinking, and so it's kind of fun when we did that at we had a national championship and we broadcast. We had a bunch of people in the United States having dinner parties together watching the Canadian Nationals, and thought that was really cool. And so it would be great. Let us know what's on your menu.
I love that idea. Maybe we should, in the way that we critique the skaters, we should, who's the best supporter, who's having the best party watching the Junior Grand Prix?
Or who has the best menu? I mean, that would be,
yeah.
What are you having? And maybe we'll visit a couple establishments in Gdansk, Mark, and also in Yerevan, and have a little fun, and maybe we'll make that part of the broadcast. We'll see what we're able to do. But, looking forward to seeing you in person in Gdansk.
Definitely felt last week in Istanbul. It was the team of people that are on this ISU Junior Grand Prix production are just brilliant. So total shout out and respect to them. But certainly missed you, Ted, last week. It'll be good to get together for the last 2 events.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, the crew is good. They're a nice young crew and have a passion for what they do. And lots of energy. So it's so nice to have their support, that's for sure. For so many years, we did so much. I remember helping pull the cables and the lines and doing all the stuff in the beginning just to get things started. And we had a wonderful crew for 8 or 9 years as well. And they're really family to me now, extended family. We stay in touch all the time, of course. So it's a special honor. I will put it that way. It's a special honor to be able to do the Junior Grand Prix, that's for sure.
Yeah, and amazing now to see, even within, I imagine since when you started creating this stream or the YouTube service and the commentary service, Ted, then now how integral even the social media team is to not our sport, but just communication. So the team that work the social media, great people, and lots of them, because that's just an unnecessary part of daily life, I think, now.
It is of anybody's business, really, and the young people take the social media in small little bits, and they just scroll through it. Oh, that's interesting. Let me watch that for 10 seconds, or 15 seconds, or something like that. So it's an important part of everything that we do in life now, and we have a brilliant young crew, and that's a lot of fun. But in the beginning, we didn't have that. We just covered streaming, and then we would, the ISU would ask us, well, could you do this? Could you do that? And we would do the best we can with it, but we weren't, because we had so much time consumed by just trying to get the stream up. So it's great to have the social media crew and the production crew all working together, all from the same team. Yeah, brilliant. Well done.
Indeed, an award-winning social media team for winter sports. So they're particularly good on ISU for their
ISU's won some international awards for all the things they're doing in their media and promotions, and congratulations to their team for winning those world awards in the sporting world. So yeah, it's been great and been an honor to be part of it, that's for sure.
I've just had a message, Ted, saying one of the the viewers watching is currently enjoying coffee and chocolate cheesecake. So the
Oh,
gauntlet
man,
has been
okay,
laid down.
come
That's a
on.
pretty
I mean,
high
we're talking
bar
about
set.
Brussels-
Yeah.
We're talking about Brussels sprouts and broccoli. Some of the things, no, I would do. Yeah. Oh, cheesecake, coffee, wonderful. That's excellent. Yeah, you
Happy
keep sending
days.
us messages from where you're at, and what you're eating, what you're. That'd be terrific. That's a lot of fun. Wow. Where is that from? In Great Britain or?
No, it's a stateside American friend that's, on the intel. So.
Oh, nice.
Also, though,
on the intel.
talking of food, Ted, were you a skater that could eat before you competed? I know there's a big divide here. Some that just can't stomach facing a breakfast before an event.
No, I didn't figure that
okay.
out early enough. But when I did figure that out, I'm going, no, I'd like to have an empty stomach, or pretty close to empty. So I felt quicker, I think, and because I was always slow anyway. So, but no, I liked kind of an empty stomach. So I always had lots of energy. That wasn't an issue. But yeah, no. How about you?
Well, I was, as we've alluded to already on the streaming, my anxiety over run-throughs. So I had this. Obviously, I did my run-throughs every day. I was studious like that. Did what I was told and made sure I did run-through twice a day. But forever anxious about my ability to maintain energy to the end of the run-through. I used to think, well, I just need to eat more on competition day. And so I would just eat gargantuan amounts in the hope that it would help me last with a bit more energy to the end. I actually think maybe that was, in hindsight, one of the problems, that my body was too busy trying to process all the food and pushed into it than be able to get up and jump.
As we look, some of the athletes getting ready and just sort of keeping themselves warm before there's Noah Bodenstein from Switzerland in the red jacket's grown a lot. David Steingart there from Canada. You can see that maple leaf on his chest there. I'm just waiting by the brooms, and you can see all the backstage area to take to the ice.
It's interesting you mentioned keeping warm, because I saw a post by one of my all-time favorite skaters, Satoko Miyahara, and she did a post for the Japanese Skating Federation and did acknowledge it for the fans that were coming to watch that it is a cold rink. And although that sounds ridiculous to say that it's a cold rink, some of the the air temperatures for the fans can be vastly variable. So
yes,
need to wrap up.
Yeah, very much so. No, here we go. Group number 3. Going to take the ice in just a moment. There they are.
Warm-up group number 3 will take the ice.
Boy, Noah Bodenstein certainly is growing a lot. You can see how tall that young man is, and here
From the Republic of Korea,
one of the skaters from Korea,
Lee.
Jaekeun Lee.
From Malaysia, Zeng Fang.
Got it.
From Switzerland, Noah Bodenstein.
Good
There.
audio
From Canada,
mix here.
David
Nice.
Steiger.
Boy, talk about a
Shea,
deep
who's
voice,
now,
eh?
United States of America.
yeah, he does.
Michael Shea.
Michael Shea from America, he's now started his university courses at Berkeley. So between his events, from his first Grand Prix to this, being a full-time student. So as we've said before, real amazing how these young people manage to juggle such busy lives.
Yeah, and some of them are in high school, some of them are in university. It is a busy time in their life, but it's interesting because you're not standing still wondering, what do I do? You're doing a lot. And a big contrast from scholastics, academic pursuits, to sport pursuits here as well. So it's a nice contrast and a good break from each one of them.
Yeah, and I'd read some studies which suggest that being an elite athlete helps the academic pursuits, and I'm sure vice versa. I suppose the challenge is then how you maintain that when you get to senior level as well. It's an interesting debate, and for some of them it's a really tricky one. I know that some parents will be really eager to promote academics, and it's a balancing act for sure.
Well, it is, and in the end of the day, skating might be your profession, but in many cases, skaters need to and want to, and parents want them to have a degree or pursue a master's or whatever to ensure they have choices in life. If they don't want to do the skating thing, they've got another profession and enjoy skating as an official or whatever, an adult skater. But it means a busy time in the life. And when you get to the top of seniors pursuing an Olympic dream, okay, this is a bit more difficult for sure. And you can see Nathan Chen took, I think, the last year or 2 years off building up for the 2022 Winter Games.
And I feel like I remember like Paul Wiley, like really elite, academic pursuits as well, but then having to take a sabbatical just to follow their skating career.
Yeah.
Because obviously the window of time, and that's an interesting point, like the window of time we talk about, when you're a late teenager, you might be pursuing elite level sport whilst also pursuing high level education. The high level education, the argument could be that could be something that could be pursued a little later, but it'd be great to dispel the myth that it's an entirely young person's sport. However, history tells us that there is an element of a window of time that's necessary to be elite.
Yeah.
In our sport.
Absolutely. Some people surprise you, but when you look at the basic trends, that's what it is. Interesting, I often think about the parents at home, maybe thousands and thousands of miles away, watching the live stream and watching their sons or daughters, compete, and the anxiety that they must go through, at home, and all the work and support that they've given. And we just wanted to shout out to the parents. We know what you go through, and we salute you for everything you've provided for your kids. And we hope you enjoy the journey as much as they do. Of course, it's hard at the moment they skate. You can't. It's hard to enjoy it unless they have a brilliant skate, and then you enjoy that, of course. But so a big shout out to all the parents that have done so much for their kids to be here at an international competition along their long journey in skating.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one because in our sport, because it can be so expensive, depending on the skating nation that you represent, the likelihood is that your parents will have had to have sacrificed so much to allow you to facilitate this dream. And certainly not all nations, I think some nations have more support and there's hand-picked students from a young age, but for many, the parents' sacrifices are abundant.
Yeah, for sure. But you know what it's like. You got two young kids. You do what you can to help your kids pursue a dream that they have, because you have only one life with the children that you have, and you want to be there for them. And so this is, you find a way. It's amazing how parents simply find a way. Yes, there are sacrifices, but they somehow find a way to help support the children's dreams. And it's one of the reasons we sort of salute them. And we know it's difficult, we know it's challenging, but you don't go unrecognized, not only by your own kids for sure, but certainly by the rest of the skating world as well.
Yeah, we talk about the resilience of the skaters, but gosh, such a good point, the resilience of the parents who find ways to...
Yeah, and when you've gone through all your emotions, of which the skater, your child, is not thinking about your emotions, they're thinking about their own. No one's sort of taking care of your, thoughts. And so we're aware and we're with you. We understand.
To be continued.
There we go.
A good analogy, but right now, gotta shut my mouth and let the skating do the talking.
Okay, we'll get that a little bit later. Group number 3 starts in the men's short program right now with this young man. Boy, this coach has been out on the Junior Grand Prix quite a bit. Our first competitor represents Korea, 15-year-old Jaekeun Lee, third Junior Grand Prix season, first Junior Grand Prix this year, and he was 7th at the Korean Senior National Championships. This is his first Junior Grand Prix on the season. 69.47 personal best in the short.
c'è un solo amore che non muore, che col tempo un vento di maestrale che improvvisamente il cielo schiarirà. Ma io ci sarò, e se sarai felice al cielo
Jaekeun Lee from Korea, an amazing talent that's only mistake was being late on music to finish.
Yeah, and you could hear the coach in the background to get out, get out. You know, wow, amazing! What a wonderful skater. You know, just small things. Needs to point the toes and stretch the free legs a little, but wonderful awareness of upper body choreographic moves, and he really paid attention to that technique. Obviously, on the elements, just wonderful. A little tight on the triple loop, triple toe loop, but excellent technique, great speed, great feeling for music, good use of a good execution of the choreography. Wow, what a talent.
Yeah, and what a testament to the strength and the depth of the field in Korean men's skating that this is his only guaranteed junior Grand Prix as a substitute for Armenia, but so many great skaters, and she is such a character. Hyung Kyung Choi, the coach, she's fabulous.
Yeah, really is. Such a wonderful job. As we take a look at some of the, here's the triple axel. Wow, look at it, right off the end of that edge. Sweet. And that is triple axel with a plus. Oh, it's on the Q on the quarter with a plus 0.69. So good score there. There's a triple loop C, a little bit forward, but gets the free leg back to put the pick in, get the element completed with that perfect balance on one spot. Wonderfully centered. And triple Lutz a little bit later. There you can see the free leg just sort of hanging a little bit, not following all the way through to stretch and point the toe. Those are little not nuances, they're little quality details that really do matter when it comes to GOE, but that generally happens a little bit later in your junior career and going into senior. Well, let's see, his personal best was 69.47. We'll see whether he gets close to that.
You just see visibly year on year the development of the Korean skaters, and like you're saying, what's coming next? What is coming next? It's exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Short program score 65.76, and that'll put Jaekeun Lee from Korea currently into third place at this stage of the competition. Our next competitor represents Malaysia, Zeng Fang, 18 years old, second Junior Grand Prix season, 16th in Bangkok in week 1 on the Junior Grand Prix. 47.44 was his best score. for the short program. And he'll skate to Make It Rain by Ed Sheeran.
When the sins of my father lay down in my soul, in the pain of my mother, will not let me go. Well, I know they can't come far from the sky to refine the purest of kings. And even though I know this fire brings me pain, even so, and just the same, make it rain, make it rain down, Lord, make it rain, make it rain. It's like the riches of grandeur, never reach the pole. And let the clouds fill with thunderous applause, and let lightning be the veins. Fill the sky with all that they can draw when it's time to make a change. Make it rain, make it rain down, Lord. Make it rain, make it rain, make it rain, make it rain down, Lord. Make it rain. Oh, make it rain.
Zeng Fang from Malaysia, the 18-year-old who cites contemporary dance as one of his hobbies, and you can see that in his musical awareness, just struggling technically. The triple-triple, obviously unsuccessful, as too was the Lutz.
Yeah, right off the top of the program, Mark, we could see his connection to the music and that passion for his performance. And he has a really good technique. The double axel was beautiful, nice and tight and straight and strong in the air. That was great. Timing on the first two elements were really rushed and a little tentative. It's not his natural portion of passion, I would say, at this point, jumping. But he's good at it. But as you said, the performance, wonderful. Let's take a look right off the top of the program here. You can see his awareness right to the music. He not only hears it, but he feels it. Here's the triple toe loop. This was okay. Gets free leg back late and a little bit too far back of the heel as he takes off. Has to downgrade that second triple toe loop. Takes the fall. Triple lutz, same thing. Under rotates. Both feet go down. So both those elements, although he can do them, you can clearly see that. Didn't do them here. Double axel. Nice.
Yeah. And as we see the change edge in the camel, I don't think here he struggled to get the catch on the feature for the back camel, and I'm not sure again if he got enough rotations done in the back camel for that to be a callable element, so he may have lost valuable points there. But interestingly, his choreographer Derek Delmore was just explaining how super eager to learn that Zeng Fang is, and he's always hungry for more information, and what a dream that is for any coach and choreographer to work with.
Oh, no question. When you have somebody that's hungry, sometimes you may work with the maybe not the most talented skaters, but the ones you like working with the most because they want the
Yeah.
information. They want to discover how. And so they're always listening and always in dialogue. And that's a charm and that's a gift when you have a student like that.
The score, please.
ファンさんの得点
Short program score
40.39
40.39. And that about Zeng Fang from Malaysia, currently to 11th position at this stage of the competition.
Currently in 11th place.
Our next competitor represents Switzerland. 18-year-old Noah Bodenstein, second Junior Grand Prix season, 24th at the World Juniors last year in Calgary, was third at Swiss Nationals in senior. Personal best in the short program, 62.83 last year at the World Junior Championships. And he'll skate to standards by Leslie Odom.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
When it was crumbs and scraps, pennies, pats, everything was fine. You treat me like a loaded gun when I ask for what is mine. Always try to dim my light, no matter how bright I shine. Love got my standards, and I'm never letting die. Not because of pride, you're not bleeding me dry. Cannot abide. I got my head on a swivel this time. Why would I let you just twist it aside? I catch a fever with the ain't and not the way I live my life. These are my standards. I ain't gonna never, never let 'em die. I ain't gonna never, never let 'em die. I ain't gonna never, never let 'em die. These are my standards. When I called for help, you didn't pick up your phone. You saw my kingly potential, so you kept me from my throne. So you pushed me to the deep end, hoping I'd drown. But I got my baby, baby, I will be there. Anybody who just do it, I don't need you. I ain't gonna never, never let 'em die. I ain't gonna never, never let 'em die. I ain't gonna never, never let 'em die. These are my standards. I ain't gonna never, never let 'em die. Because losing my spine. I got my head on a swivel this time. Why would I let you? I get your fever when it ain't enough the way I live my life. These are my standards that I'll never let 'em die.
Noah Bodenstein from Switzerland, and I think, Ted, he is just so cool.
You know what?
ボーデンシュタインさんの演技でした
Pardon me, I had a cough there. He was so impressive in this program. He's grown so much, handles his height beautifully, great
Yeah.
jump technique, really good connection with the music, really wonderfully done. Just huge improvement from last season. Every season out, he seems to get better.
Yeah, and obviously he's taller than Coach Francois Pitot with skates on, but 191 centimeters. It's noteworthy because it is tall, and yet he just oozes a comfort in his own skin. He just seems so at peace with his body, and he just oozes coolness.
And a completely different look, you're right, is just cool. And so it's him. He is unique, completely himself on this, and he's done such a wonderful job with all the technique and even, you know, the camel spin's not easy to control. And look at the balance here. Grabs the free leg behind. That's in at a level 2. There's the double axel a bit later in the program. Good, straight, strong back on the landing. One hand cartwheel. Yeah. Great stuff.
And yeah, really, really cool. I remember seeing him in Courchevel. I think he did the exhibition gala skate at the Junior Grand Prix in France last year. And that another opportunity to see a skater who's really comfortable performing. I'm sure he will be disappointed with no triple here. But nevertheless, you know, he has a place. He is a great skater to have on the scene and just adds to the rich tapestry of so many different types of performers expressed in different ways.
Reminds me a little bit, not a skating style, but it reminds me a little bit of Oleg Melnikov from Canada, who has become a sensation online as he skates outside, and he does so many initiatives. And he himself was cool. He was the favorite of the audience here in Canada for a number of years at our national championships, because he just had this special uniqueness and coolness about him. And I think this young man has a little bit of that as well.
And now in the modern world that we're in, any comparison with Oleg, like, as much as I'm sure no Bodenstein wants to be compared with world champions, that's a good comparison.
Oh my gosh, it sure is. That's for sure. It's a compliment. I mean that in every way. Let's take a look. Short program score 56.93 for Noah, and that'll put him currently into 6th place.
56.93. He is currently in 6th place.
Our next competitor represents Canada, 17-year-old David Steingart, 2nd Junior Grand Prix season, 6th at the National Juniors this year, coached by Darlene Joseph, choreographed by Julie Bro. 55.34 personal best, skating to Digga Digga Doo.
I'm so very by nature. If you don't say you're mean, you're gonna lose your pop. So let those funny people smile. How can there be a virgin isle with sweet? Jumping, jump on it, jump, jump it. When you hit the dance floor, you gotta be jumping, jump on it, jump, jump it. Like wild swing, rope right up your trail. Whoa, whoa, you just can't stop. Like wild swing, rope right up your trail. Whoa, whoa, watch it, watch it.
17-year-old David Steingart from Canada, and I knew I would enjoy this skater, Ted, having seen what an accomplished dancer he is on the stage without skates. I knew that we'd be able to enjoy his performance ability and his movement ability. Just obviously the costliness of no combination will affect him in the results of the short program here.
Yeah, interesting. If you just watch the warm-up, you would never think that you'd get that type of performance just from the warm-up. He's kind of a quiet guy and sitting there, but he gets on the ice, that music starts, he's completely, into it, hears it, feels it. There's the triple flip and mispicked. You see the pick slip out of the ice, so he couldn't vault himself into the air. That was a big loss, but he didn't let that affect the performance, which I appreciate so much. Double axel, really nice. So many nice aspects of the skating. He's a little bit forward on the landing. Here you see both hands go down, or one hand, pardon me. But the performance, he kept the level all the way.
Proving your point there with the facial expression.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I love the long, it's a bit old school, the long back outside edge entry into the Lutz, and a nice classic takeoff technique as he's embracing the Canadian representation there.
Yeah. Along with Coach Darlene Joseph, a great contributor not only to the coaching in Canada, but also a board member of Skate Canada. So for many years and involved in helping young coaches, pursue the profession and get involved. Yeah, I really love watching David skate. It's always fun, and you always hope for him to get that clean technical performance, because the PC scores will be there as we take a look on the screen here. They're in the mid sixes, so that's pretty good. But he'll lose some of that, of course, with the mistakes in the technical aspect.
Yeah. And for me also, the performance is amazing. I think perhaps it could be more musically tight in terms of counts and beats, because I think this is a skater that could potentially be really pushing +3s, +4s in the step sequence. It was perfectly appropriate from a style perspective, but the musicality of it, I think, will be embellished and hopefully tightened up as the season goes on, because that could be epic.
Yeah, I completely agree. You can see that he could do it, but he doesn't do it all the way through the program. Absolutely correct. 56.38 for David, and that'll put him currently, for the moment at least, into 7th place.
He's currently in 7th place. On the ice, representing the United States of America, Michael Shea.
Michael Shea, 18 years old, second Junior Grand Prix season, second event, placing 6th in Bangkok, week 1. 66.08 his personal best, but 59.22 season's best so far. And you want to improve that here right now in Osaka.
Wow. Phenomenal change weight combination spin to conclude the program for Michael Shea from the United States of America. A skater so inspired by the Japanese world champion Daisuke Takahashi, and it's that skater that inspired this choice of music for this short program, and now to be able to perform it here in front of Daisuke's home nation, very special moment for this university student.
Yeah, it was another great case of, you know, wonderful qualities, beautiful innovations, and good solid technique, and just under the stress, I suppose, of competition, just you know, making a few mistakes here or there that are costly from a point perspective. But certainly the qualities of the skater over are very, very strong. Good basic skills, great spins, really nice spins, and so a few challenges on some of the elements, the technical elements, the jumps, as we'll see right here. I'm traveling 3 turns into the triple flip. This is no problem. Look at the distance, strong back on the landing, up high on the triple toe loop, absolutely clean all the way on that combination. Here's a triple axel. Good knee bend on the takeoff, not quite high enough or across the ice, and under rotated, and has to step out of that.
It's a shame because I saw 2 really good triple axels in the warm-up, and I thought, oh, he's going to nail it today, but not to be.
And that triple, that's again, that didn't lift up high enough as well, so under rotated late, really got stuck in front. But look at the beautiful moves after. You know, those transitions into and out of technical jump elements really demonstrate quality. Little loss of balance there, but he manages to flip over into the final position.
I'd love to see afterwards on the report card what the grades of execution for that final change weight combination spin are, because you know, it's almost Jason Byrne-esque in its quality for regards to grade of execution.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh.
Little sign, little language going on there.
Yeah. And fascinatingly, Ted, Michael's hobbies that he lists on his Irish biography, one of them is Instagram stalking. So I feel like maybe he's ready to do the commentary job for the research as well.
Yeah, exactly. You get to use that word, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, here's the score, 63.62 for Michael, and that'll put him currently 4th place overall. Good, strong performance. He's in position. Let's take a look. Yeah, he's 63.62, and he's just over 2 points out of the bronze medal position, but we still have, what do we have here? 2 more groups to go, so lots more can happen as we take a look at the start order for group number 4, taking to the ice for their warm-up.
The skaters of warm-up group number 4 will take the ice.
So, as you say, Ted, I get to use that word stalking on here, and it's been fun to see some of the skaters and what they've been posting. And I've seen, and I'll reference it when it comes to the personate skaters, but a recurring theme that I see from the skaters, any of them that have a social media profile, their skating really features as, you know, their description of self. If the skater has, you know, an Instagram profile and they have a few words about themselves, figure skating for these young people is life. You know, figure skating is their life, and some of them they'll acknowledge, you know, Junior Grand Prix competitor 2021 or 2022 or now 2023, and so this gives us, for me, that gives us this appreciation for, this is effectively, it's not their entire life. They know that they're much more than just sport, but it gives us appreciation for what they put into the performances that we get to enjoy, because to them, it is their identity at this stage.
Well, for sure, and it's what also separates themselves. So they go to school with all the other kids and whatnot, and people play, you know, team sports, soccer, baseball, football, hockey, whatever. This is an individual sport in this case, and it makes you absolutely unique because no one can step on the ice and do what these guys do, but they could step on the pitch and maybe not play as well, but kick the ball, throw the ball, whatever.
Yeah.
So this sport is so difficult. It sets them aside, makes them unique just in society. and also gives them the element of discipline that you require in this sport, like at the highest level. So I think there is a camaraderie or a sort of a family, if you will, of those skaters who share this incredible experience in skating and the ups and the downs, right?
Yeah, to understand, and I think there's that empathy for a skater, empathy for the training hardship, and then empathy for like competition, like this experience. You know, so few people can comprehend the amazingness of representing your nation, and it puts you into, I don't want to say elite club, but special, unique club of people that, you know, fly the flag for their country doing this sport.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, just to put it in context, I'm just trying to think, maybe gymnastics is like that, but to step on a massive surface as the only person, and every eyeball in that facility is on one person on this massive surface. So you cannot hide. So anything that you do, good or bad, you know, whatever, is seen by everyone. And that's very rare. In a team sport, you're kind of amongst a bunch of people, and, you know, whatever mistakes you make, you may or may not be noticeable. But in these individual sports, it's just, you know, remarkable. And even in gymnastics, there's a lot of people on the floor, even though you might be highlighted on a floor routine or a palm of horse or whatever the case may be. But in skating, you're it. That's it. And that is unique and special, and takes a special type of mind as well.
And I suppose, like, when I think of the skaters on the ice now, probably if they've been in environments dependent upon their training location, representing your country might be standard. They may be trained in an environment where others have done that, so it becomes maybe less of a celebration. I actually notice it more for the smaller skating countries when they're represented. If I see their social media, it's a huge stage, exciting to say, oh, I'm, you know, flying the flag for this country, because it's not done as much, more so. Whereas maybe for the skaters that come from more established nations, oh, you know, I'm just representing my country, so many people do that. It's not till then subsequent years later when you think, wow, that's amazing. You've represented your nation in a crazily difficult sport. And you kind of want to shout that for the skaters now, because I remember when I represented my country, I didn't think anything of it, and it was like, oh, I was much more consumed with what I did and didn't do. Whereas now, in hindsight, I wish I'd appreciated that more at the time, perhaps.
Yeah, well, it's hard. It's hard to appreciate anything when you're young. You don't know if it's special or not, because you haven't lived long enough, right? It takes time. Yeah.
No context.
Yeah.
Lovely crunch of the blade there.
Yeah, you can hear that sound. And that's another aspect you don't get really on streaming or on television. When you're in the rink and you can hear or not hear the run of the blades, which is even better, because then the quality of that running edge is just amazing. And sometimes you hear a bite of the ice or the pick and the chips of the ice, and it just adds to the environment. And of course, when you're in the rink, you get to see the speed across the ice. So, you know, there are definitely some things that you miss when you're watching in a video. So if you ever get a chance to go to a live event, just go, because I think that you'll see the sport in a different light, and you'll appreciate it even that much more than the beauty we see on a screen. But the speed and the knives, as you put it, the knives attached to their boots, you know, carving out, you know, marks across the ice. It's pretty special.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder for the skaters how they feel with the ice surface. And we've heard, I think it was in Istanbul last week, we heard skaters just acknowledging to their coaches and warm up, you know, how does the ice feel? Because that a factor for, you know, so many of them, just the temperature. And interesting to have heard, as I said, Satoko Miyahara saying the rink is fairly cold. You can even see that and sense that, you know, the back of shot there, people wearing multiple layers. It wasn't necessarily like that at some of the other events, how that impacts the ice surface.
Yeah, it's true. When the fans are all bundled up with coats and scarves and sweaters, you're going, that rink is cold, I'm pretty sure.
It's a cold one.
Yeah. Here we go. Group number 4 of the second event in day 1 Junior Grand Prix in Osaka. Men's short program. Our first competitor from Hong Kong, Chiu Hei Cheung, 18 years old, second Junior Grand Prix season, was 5th at the Asian Open in August, just prior to the Junior Grand Prix held in Bangkok. Personal best in the short program, 45.89, earning that last season in Riga. As he takes the starting position, he'll skate the short program to It's a Sin.
When I look back upon my life, it's always with a sense of shame. I've always been no one to blame. For everything I long to do, no matter when or where or who, has one thing in common too. It's a sin. Everything I've ever done, everything I ever do, every place I've ever been, everywhere I'm going to, it's a sin. Father, forgive me. I try not to do it. Turn over a new leaf, then tore right through it. Whatever you taught me, I didn't believe it. Father, you fought me, 'cause I didn't care. And I still don't understand. Yeah. It's a sin. It's a sin.
Juheon Lim from Hong Kong junior champion. Another skater juggling studies and academic pursuits. And, to me, Ted, amazing that he went for the triple toe at the end of the first triple toe and that he stayed upright. All the jumps looking a little off axis. So tenacity to him for fighting for the landings for Chiu Hei Cheung.
Yeah, really good point. I noticed that as well. I thought, wow, good on him for working through the first triple toe loop to push himself up for the second one. Didn't give up on anything. And he's at a certain stage of development, growing a lot, I'm most certain, so everything's sort of changing and learning to adapt to that with technique and also in performance. So really interesting stage, and student as well, so balancing a lot in life. Here's the triple toe loop. This one looks okay, a little bit forward, so loses a bit of speed, but takes the time to get the free leg back, pushes himself up, has to put the hand down, but great work. He didn't give up on it. He could have doubled it, but he went for the triple. It's a triple Lutz, a little bit of a lean as well, a little bit off balance in the air. Has to put the hand down. Basic technique, really solid though. Yeah, little jump there. And his double axel, just sort of swinging off that takeoff edge a little bit, but making it work.
Just the blade awareness you can see in the final spin, just the awareness of the weight on the blade and the length of the glide, nice scenes there, but just mindful not only that the skaters push for the increased technical difficulty, but that they keep trying to pursue that better flow, that better glide, and I think we'll see kind of fours, so a little lower than we've seen from other people, and hopefully again the skaters don't just see the triple axe or the quads that we've seen from their competitors, but they see that increased knee and ankle action to create more ice coverage as well.
Yeah, we were talking about that, or you were talking about that a little earlier, about the flow across the ice much more than it used to be. You know, that maybe not have the same height, but that's not really included so much in the score. This flow in across the ice and on the landing is so important, and we're seeing more and more skaters be able to do that. But you have to be able to work with the momentum you have coming in and not stop that momentum. Work with it up into the air.
Effortlessness.
Yeah.
Ooh. Interesting, Chiu there, just looking a bit forced in his walkthrough of what might have happened.
Yeah, having technical discussion at the moment. 43.18, and that will move him currently into 13th position.
43.18. He's currently in 13th place.
Yanhao Li from New Zealand still holding on to second place. As we take a look at our next competitor, coming from the United States, 17-year-old Danielle Martinoff, third Junior Grand Prix season, 10th last year at Junior World, so good placement there. Also 11th at the U.S. Nationals in senior event, 73.93 personal best last year at the World Junior Championships. And he will skate to Dawn of Faith by Eternal Eclipse.
Daniel Martinoff from the United States of America, 17-year-old. Ted already is a great example to me of resilience and tenacity. He competed Junior Grand Prix 4 seasons ago. He's then acknowledged on his socials that growing affected him so much as it does for others, and we've acknowledged that for other skaters. Great to see him back on the Junior Grand Prix, back still pursuing the success that the likes of his father, who's his coach, had as a World Junior Championship competitor as well.
I remember seeing him in Enya Neumark last year, the last Junior Grand Prix of the season. He was 8th there, and he really impressed me with his skating ability and his grandeur really on the ice, and we saw that here today as well. I know that he had a little issue with the triple flip combo. We'll see what unfolds there, but powerful, strong, great ice coverage, good technique. We'll take a look at some of the elements here. Starts off with a really nice triple axel with a 2.06 GOE, so plus he has a 10.06 score on that one element. Starts out great. And then here's the triple flip. Looks good. Steps out. Oh, yeah. There it takes the double toe loop away. There's the triple Lutz. No problem. Beautiful soft knees. Good glide on the landing. And you can see him look up, follow the arm movement. Here's some of his steps. Flying sit spin at the end of the program into level 4 with a plus GOE as well. So his personal best, 73.93, probably won't reach that, but he could have a good score here for this competition. We'll see where that'll take him.
And again, easy ways, not easy ways, I say easy ways in which to improve that score, but this score that we may see creep over that 70-point barrier can easily be developed for this skater. You can see there's so much more. I've seen he can do quads in practice. He's posted quad toe back in July 2021, so more to come from Daniel Martinov.
Well, 70.75 for Daniel Martinov of the United States. Good score. Considering that challenge on the combination, that'll put him in 3rd place at this stage of the competition. Nicely positioned for the free program at this point.
18番 Tao Macrae さん イギリス
From Great Britain, Tao Macrae, 16 years old, first Junior Grand Prix event, 7th in Junior at the British Nationals. He's coached by Michael Brizna. Don't have a personal best score for him, but it'll be now after this program as he'll skate to Concerto in E minor for violin and orchestra.
concerto in E minor for violin for Tao Macrae from Great Britain, a skater who's half Japanese, so it's very special for him to compete in Japan. And you can see that gratitude towards the skating fans rinkside as he takes his bow.
Yeah, nicely done. Very interesting choice of music. Beautiful piece of music, obviously. And it's interesting when we hear classical music, we say, oh, that's kind of new. Well, no, it's old, but, you know, with now with the, you know, everything that you can take out and play, you hear classical music less. So when you do hear it, it feels fresh. And that's ever so nice.
And somewhat, I don't want to say safe, but very judge-friendly, very clean music. And I thought that Tao did a good job. You can see some emotional interpretation to start the program.
Yeah, I love it when people take the time to set the mood at the top of the program. There's the triple Lutz. Good flow on the landing. Really nice. Had a plus GOE on that as well. 6.57 total for that one element. There's the triple Salchow, but off kilter, off on lean, and then can only get into the double toe loop after that. But keeps it clean. That's okay. A fairly clean program, Mark.
Yeah, and as we see the double axel, which looks like it's, I'm sure, being worked a triple in practice. Just interesting to see again, you know, great to see a skater delivering what is looking like one of their personal best. That, as Tao, the emphatic finish there suggests he's totally satisfied as Mikhail Brezhina, his coach, joins him. And Mikhail was telling us that he landed his first double axel with Mikhail, and now for him to be here as his coach as he's representing his nation on the Junior Grand Prix, quite special.
53.89. And there, it's okay. They're pretty pleased with that. For Tao will currently be in 13th place. Great start. Nicely done. Little fist pump. And our next competitor represents Japan.
On the ice, representing
Seigo
Japan,
Tauchi, 15 years old.
Tauchi.
Second Junior Grand Prix season, 9th last year in Gdansk. Seigo was 23rd at the Japanese Senior Nationals, 8th in Junior, 64.47, his personal best back last season on the Junior Grand Prix. And he'll skate here in front of a home audience to Cloak and Dagger and Fate of the Clockmaker.
Seigo Tauchi from Japan, the 15-year-old. As much as I love to see a skater overjoyed with their delivery of their skate, there's nothing more heartbreaking to see the disappointment, and it seems doubly cruel when it's in front of your home nation for a Japanese skater. But despite the sadness, he's a quality athlete.
Yeah, he was trying so hard to hang on to that triple toe loop at the back end of the triple flip and just over-rotated with the upper body and had to take the fall. Yeah, it was really tough. And they, all the Japanese skaters, the goal is, and for everybody really, but skate clean. But they generally do skate, pretty clean. So standard is very high. And any big error is a disappointment, no question. We'll take a look. There's some other items. Here's the triple Lutz. Looks pretty good. Gets the free leg back in time. That was great to sneak that back there because it held on to the landing. He was a little bit off on lean. Here's the triple flip. Goes for the triple toe loop on a big lean forward. Back on the heel and has to step forward. I don't know whether they took a fall on that or not.
Interesting blades. That's a new design of blade there.
Yeah, it's not a fall in the system, so that's good. He saved that. There's the double axel. Doesn't use a lot of arms there. It just sort of gets airborne and gets into a rotation position. There's that hitch kick, codenamed the Whirly. And you can see the disappointment right there. Yeah.
And I wondered, Ted, because the triple axel was listed on his planned program content, elected to double. Perhaps that's strategic because, to be honest, the top three are all in the 70s, but behind that then fourth place is 65. So maybe Seigo is being smart to to go a little bit safer but stay in contention because he will compete again in Armenia. So he's conscious of the need to place well at this event if he's any chance of succeeding.
And I would question the technique, the double axel norms, and also the triple axel probably is really tight, and it's not quite there yet to take that risk. 62.33 for Seigo Tauchi from Japan. That'll put him currently into 6th place at this stage of the competition.
He's currently in 6th place.
Well, our final competitor in group number 4 comes from Korea. 17-year-old Juheon Lim, 9th at the Korean Nationals in senior. Does not have a Junior Grand Prix record at this stage, but will develop it right now. First Junior Grand Prix event as he'll skate the short here to Your Song from Moulin Rouge.
Well, we could have two more contrasting finishes and reactions for Lim from Korea. He turns 18 next Friday, and very early birthday present in a delivery of a pretty solid short program.
A Korean skater in Osaka, Japan, and getting the round of applause from all the audience that are here, and he'll get more as the audience starts to fill up for the free program. That was dynamic. Big, bold, choreographic movements with the build of the music. Really beautifully done. Great triple axel, triple flip, triple toe combination. Had to do a 3-turn on the triple lutz, but wow, this was, he made his mark and made an impression and enjoyed it at the same time. That was wonderful.
Wasn't it? And now that relief, you can see as he takes his, puts his guards on his skate. It's just that satisfaction of delivering your PB.
Watch the triple axel, how easy this is off the end of the edge. Nice and straight and aligned in the air. Beautiful landing position, riding that edge. Triple flip, triple toe loop, but that was easy as well. Gets the leg back right away. Picks, gets the leg back. There it is. Solid triple toe, triple flip, triple toe. This was a little bit more problematic. Open in the air. Mistiming a little bit on the takeoff, but manages to keep on his feet, so saves that a little bit. But the rest of the program, big movements, not afraid to interpret and to do what he was taught, but do it with feeling.
Yeah, and Yeji Shin, choreographer, Misha G, choreographer, so getting some amazing inputs to help to push that program component score. And that's the thing, we talked about it, I think, in one of the earlier Junior Grand Prix assignments this year. The Korean skaters really outsourcing the information to make sure both technical and program components bolstered.
Doing a great job. They're competing strongly against Japan, no question. 75.38. Wow. And that puts him in first place. And he's thrilled. There you go. He's got a 4-point lead, just under a 4-point lead. Outstanding. With 5 skaters yet to come. So, the final ice resurfacing of the day, day 1 here in Osaka on the Junior Grand Prix week number 4. We're going to take a short break, Mark, and we'll be back right after the ice resurfacing for the final group on day 1 of competition. Stay with us.
9:21 p.m. Thank you.
5グループの選手の皆さんはリンクにお入りください。
The skaters of warm-up group number 5 will take the ice.
Show me what you're all about, yeah.
第5グループの選手
Welcome back,
の
everyone,
登
to
場を
Osaka,
ご紹介いたします。
Japan, week number 4 on the Junior Grand Prix Men's Short Program final group on the ice for the warm-up. I'm Ted Barton, your host, working from Montreal. Mark Hunruddy joining me from Nottingham in the UK. Mark?
I don't know if I should, as soon as I hear you come on air, just breathe loudly just so you have the reassurance to know that somebody will be joining you for definite.
No, don't breathe loudly. No. It's okay. We've been on cue the whole time, so it's all good. So, no problem. Okay, final group. And interesting, this young skater, or this skater from India, and I want to just tell you a brief story to the audience. And it was back, the first time I was ever introduced to a young skater in India was in Yokohama, Japan. I think it was 2017, it might have been. And the skater, was doing an axle jump, and he was amongst many other really, really good skaters from Japan, and they were very fast, and people online were really sort of complaining about the standard. And I was going, hey, this is Junior Grand Prix. We want countries to be involved. And this young skater that we saw at that time could only skate once every 2 months, I think it was, on the ice. The rest of the time he was a roller skater. So this was one of the times in the 2 months that he could actually skate on ice. So I think that when the story came out and there was consideration for what he was trying to do and expand the sport in his country, it was fantastic, and it reminds me of that. So this young man is going to skate last in this event, and so whatever the standard that he presents, it is remarkable that he's here. It's a credit to himself and his family and the federation in India to put skaters on the ice and start it. And when you start anything, you're never at the top of the game. It takes time to build. So I just want to tell you that brief story. It was one of the most charming moments out of 10 years of working on the Junior Grand Prix, perhaps my favorite. And it was very, very special.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's amazing. And gosh, how interesting that that's the, a decade's worth of your life and your commitment, and you've known the sport so much longer than that, and that still stands out. That's so brilliant.
Oh, it really does. And one of the reasons, not only the skater and the person, I did an interview. It was a really cute interview in the Kiss and Cry. He was hilarious. He was correcting me on everything, and which he should. and was that the people online actually got to know this story, and things started to change. I think people started looking at skaters, at least in the Junior Grand Prix, completely differently, and embracing from wherever you came from and whatever your standard is, that you were there, and they celebrated that. And I think that was a proud moment, I think, for me anyways, within the ISU and what they're trying to do to help skating grow around the world. So anyways, that's just a brief story. We'll see skater from India skate last here, and I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Mark?
I love that.
Anybody else?
I love that. And it's interesting. A friend of mine has just been saying that we fall in love with the people and the humans. And, that's what, when you get the chance to connect with the human and the person, then we can fall in love more with them. And also then appreciate the skating. And whilst I don't want to use somebody's lesser experience or lesser quality, certainly not negatively, but it does allow your appreciation then of some of the stronger skaters who have access to better facilities. It gives context.
That is such a good point, because this sport at times looks easy when they're doing triple axels or triple lutzes or whatever, and when you see a skater at the beginning, you're going, wait a minute, this is knives on your boots, as you say so well, on a very slippery surface with no padding. Just do the math here. Look at this. There's a triple axel, and then we have the young man from India doing a single axel. So that is the range, as we can see him in the red shirt at the end of the rink. That's the range of what we got here, and it takes courage from every one of these athletes. So I celebrate the Junior Grand Prix because of that, because the wide range of people and standards and efforts. So yeah, pretty special.
And it's all context perspective. So we're watching Junior Grand Prix and we're seeing you know, Shunsuke Nakamura showcasing that effortless triple axel. His environment is one that triple axel is, his focus will be how much of a plus GOE on my triple axel. Whereas for Simar Bajaj from India, can I fully rotate my single axel? But remove them both out of their context. Simar, if he was to do that in front of perhaps some of his schoolmates or, you know, people who live near him in his ice rink, they're like, wow, that's amazing. Whereas for Shunsuke, triple axel with a -1, which would blow the minds of some, would be frowned upon almost as bad quality in his environment. So it's all just perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, really, really good point. Yeah, it really is. And you really kind of only see this, I don't mean only in the Junior Grand Prix, but at this level of skating, this wide range. And this is where my joy is. I love watching the seniors. I love covering the seniors. I really do. But I know all those guys, women and men, started here. And they started falling. And they started with rough spins. And they started with all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, context. So here we go. The final group in day one competition in Osaka.
The warm-up is over. Skaters,
It's been
please
fun.
leave the ice. Thank you.
As we get close to, and that'll be tomorrow, the halfway point of the Junior Grand Prix, Mark. We're not there yet.
Well, as you told me, don't wish it away just yet.
Our next competitor represents Finland, 16-year-old Matias Lindfors, second Junior Grand Prix season, second event this season. He was 10th in Linz on the Junior Grand Prix, and he is coached by Virpi Hortana. 58.46 personal best, 55.16 season's best. He'll skate to the last opera.
Oh no, we saw that incredible slide in the final spin in Austria, and it blew my mind. And then we got it this time better, and then that little stumble at the end, and it's that risk versus reward of choosing to do something unique, creative, difficult, and different. And it was a little bit suspect a couple of weeks ago in Linz, and now you can see his head in his hands now. But good on him for choosing that difficulty, and it eventually.
Absolutely love this young man's skating. He's connected to the music, a skater, and he performs without any restriction of nerves, restriction of shyness, or restriction of not understanding the music. He has no restrictions. It's in him, both artistically, creatively, and athletically. This is a very special skater that's on his way to being developed. It's not there yet. There's the triple flip, a little loose in the air, gets up to the double toe. He wants to do the triple toe, but he did the double, actually it was intended double toe there. So as he moves around here, you can see just the tilt of the head, every detail as he enters the Lutz here. Big, huge air time. So great lift, and look up with the head as he takes those running steps. There's the double axel. He skates free, like he's free with his movement, with the speed, with the momentum. It's going to be a lot of fun watching this young man to continue to develop.
Absolutely, and there will always be, oh, there it is, well done.
There it
for
is.
Capturing that, it's so difficult and so clever. What a shame here.
Oh, right there. He goes, oh no. Oh, gosh. That's okay. You're brilliant anyways. I love his personality, you know. Yeah,
And
great job.
there will always be the comparison with his sister, the European medalist Viveka Lindfors, but I think that you can tell he's not skating because the whole family did. He's skating because I'd like to think, and I sense he's skating because he loves it.
Oh, absolutely. You can see that. I mean, you can't fake that. That's natural on him.
No.
Let's take a look at the score. Short program, 58.24. And that'll put Matias currently in 8th place. He would have been a number of places higher for sure, but the skill is there. Absolutely more to come from that young man.
Best score, and he is currently in 8th place.
Yeah, he can still have a smile and put it in perspective. Gee, that's a huge skill as well.
Yeah.
Our next competitor represents Taipei, 16-year-old Yu-Hsiang Li, 3rd Junior Group preseason, 28th last year at Junior World Championships, 10th in Bangkok week 1. His personal best score is 65.79. And he'll try to beat that right
Yes.
That's awesome. You know what?
Isn't
I have
it?
one word. I have one word to describe this. Just happy. Well, that was 2 words. Okay, happy. That's the one word. He's a happy music, happy skater, happy choreography. That was awesome.
Yes, 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 yes. And consistency, particularly in the junior ranks, is hard to find. And Lee is showcasing that consistency, and that could be maybe just really well trained, maybe just because he loves the music. But my word is joyful. I think he makes me feel joyful with that program.
Well, same as happy. Come on. Yeah, joyful. It's true.
Okay.
And all,
I was
and-
ready.
and all-
I thought we'd go the exact same word.
and all the Japanese fans were standing for him. I mean, everybody in the building was
Yeah.
standing for him. He made them feel joyful and happy. Look at that smile, man. That's amazing. But also the energy throughout the program, the triple lutz, hands above the head, a little bit of a lean, but and you could see this hand. He's like, yeah, I got it. You know, shake of the shoulders there, double axel. And he just continued to gain positive emotion. Beautiful camel spin as well. I
Yeah.
don't know if you noticed that. Yeah.
And to me, what makes it all the more special is that social media is training on busy public sessions with beginners and cones, and this isn't an athlete coming from an optimal training environment of a world-class center of excellence. This is out there, finding a space in between people that are wearing rental skates. So that makes that gives you a wee bit more context to the elation.
Yeah. That's just a lot of fun for him to skate it, and a lot of fun for all of us to watch. That is the joy of skating on two sides of the fence. Let's take a look at the scores. Short program, 66.36, and he's double fist bump there, land shake. That'll put him currently into 5th place. Great job. You brought joy to the ice, the audience, and to us as well. Thank you for that. Final words of encouragement for the skater from Japan, Shunsuke Nakamura. 18 years old, 2nd Junior Grand Prix season, 4th last year in the Junior Grand Prix final in Torino. And at the Japanese Nationals, he was 11th in senior and 4th in junior. Very busy young man. 77.68 personal best. That was back in Courchevel last year. He will skate the short to a conquistador.
Nakamura reacts to his short program performance, and I'm sure the reaction, had the music stopped halfway, a lot more positive for him than the latter stage. Not just the mistake on the combination, but also the change for the combination spin at the end there. He will, I think, have dropped it a couple of based on weak creative execution there. So again, different perspective, Ted, because this is an athlete who had first and second place last year in the Junior Grand Prix, so the expectations are so high.
Yeah, no question. But if you past the mistakes, the music phrasing does not get lost on Shunsuke. It's there. He hears. He doesn't hear it because he doesn't react to it. He works with it, like completely with it. It's just beautiful, the artistry and the connection to the music track with his skating. Now, the sport aspect, obviously a little bit disappointing for him because he had a beautiful program going here, and then the triple combo. Here's the triple axel. Look how smooth on. Look at the distance across the ice. Just remarkable. Beautiful flow on the landing. Just great
and
start.
You said it was so perfect with the music.
Yeah, and here's the triple axel or triple Lutz. Pardon me. That was easy. So he says, "Okay, I got this. Not a problem." And I don't think he probably misses that combination ever. But this was a little bit rushing through it. Here it is. Last element, no problem. I'll just get this done. And mispicks a little bit on a lean and has to put the hands down. Then they step out. So that certainly was a bit disappointing. But he didn't let that affect the step sequence mark at all.
No, and this is a short program that he used last season as well. So, really developing the commitment, and when the program stays the same, that one variable that's consistent, then you can push to find those program component scores and deliver even more in other ways.
The score is
Short program scores for Shunsuke 74.04, and that's a pretty good score. That's second, even with that big mistake. That shows you the quality of the rest of this young man's skating, and he'll threaten for the title with that score should he be able to skate clean and strongly in the free. Our next competitor represents Israel, 15-year-old Nikita Sheiko, first Junior Grand Prix season, second event. He was 11th in Linz in week 2 on the Junior Grand Prix. His personal best score, and for the season, 54.78. And he'll skate the short program to Back from the Edge from James Arthur.
Back from the edge, back from the dead, back before demons took control of my head, back to the start, back to my heart, back to the boy who wouldn't reach for the sky. Oh, he wouldn't reach for the stars.
Well, I think if you're a betting man, you would put money on Nikita Sheiko from Israel having a bright and successful career, both as a junior and a senior. More successful here,
good.
landed the loots that he didn't land in Austria, so getting there.
No, really good point. This is a really good skater. Solid technique all the way through, good skating skills. We see the spins in at level 4. One of them is level 3. So he's covering all the bases from a scoring perspective and good basic skating skills as well, and some connection to the music.
Yeah. His dad competed at the 94 Olympics. His mum was 3rd at Junior Worlds in 2000. Family of stars, as the Triple Lutz has done.
Just unfortunate that triple loop combination, which is really difficult to do, and it was possible. It was a little bit off. Had to take the fall on that. It's kind of interesting how they're getting creative with the slides, say into a feature coming into a jump or coming out of a jump or into and out of the spins.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Nikita had said to us that he's so proud to not just grow up but train in Israel. Probably not, it's not a centre of excellence, but his mum there, the team have obviously worked just incredibly hard to, maybe they're not thinking within the box, they've come up with some transitional content of their own, and great to see novelty. That double axel, we talked about that transitional entry into the double axel in Linz, Austria, seeing it here again, so difficult, so well done.
Well, the score is 64.08, and they're going, whoa, Mom's happy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that'll put him currently overall into 8th place. Among the mix, no question. Good skater, demonstrated, rewarded. Great job. Now our final skater. And you keep this in context, as a young man from India, they don't have a lot of ice time or a lot of resources. A 16-year-old Simar Bajaj from India. This is Simar's very first Junior Grand Prix event. And he'll skate the short program to Slow Dancing in the Dark.
Waiting to get
India's Simar Bajaj and Ted really sense, although obviously the skating needs further education, the passion is evident.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, this young man, he's comfortable in his own choices, proud of who he is, and not afraid to pursue a dream. That is courage and freedom. He's on the ice, doesn't have the same skills as the other skaters, has the same passion, has the same heart. He might even have more courage than them. I don't know. But I love this opening. This was beautiful. It was patient. He knew what he wanted to do. He knew how to do it. In this area that's still in, really early construction, of course. That's the reality. But skating is more than just the less than 2 seconds in the air. And gets that axe all the way around. So put the foot down.
Just the courage, as you say, to go out, having been here and been in practices and seeing the capabilities of the other skaters, to then have the courage to conclude the short program. No, he doesn't have the competitive skill set, but to have the confidence to go out and deliver what he's capable of doing and utilize all that the experience has to offer him in education.
Yeah, and you said a little earlier about Noah Bodenstein from Switzerland that he's cool. I think this kid is cool.
Yeah.
I think what he's doing is very, very cool. And yeah, it's not at the same technical level, but look at that. Look at his eyes. Look at his smile. He knows he wants to be on the ice, proud to be there. And boy, I congratulate him and the work that he's done so far. Wish he had more time, more help and more time on the ice so he could explore his abilities. But from a creative perspective, it's in him already. Wow.
Yeah.
Good job.
Any
Great
coach
job.
would recognize the potential and the creative ability.
I think you talked about the brilliance in working with a skater who may not have the skill, but has the ability and desire to listen and to learn. And I think that this young man is like that. He doesn't have the same opportunities, perhaps. But when you love something that much, you're blinded to what other people think. It doesn't matter because you like it. You want to do it yourself. And you can see that in his skating. So, yeah, special moment. And of course, from a scoring perspective, and they're just dealing with that, this would be really, really a low score. But for me, it doesn't matter. I appreciate the effort that he's made just like everybody else. So he has a 5.51 for the competition, or for the short program, and puts him 25th place. But it was worth a lot more than that from a human perspective, from my point of view. So there we go, Mark. That concludes day one of competition in Osaka. You being in Great Britain, I'm here in Montreal, Canada, and there's a look at the final standings. Pretty tight up top, from 5th all the way up to 1st, just 5 points. So lots can and maybe will happen. Yanhao Li from New Zealand, very, very close to 3rd, maybe a 2nd. We'll see what he does, but that's going to be a very exciting free program. That takes place tomorrow. Women's short program, men's free program will take place for day 2 from Osaka, Japan, as we take a look at the rest of the field in the competition. Well, Mark, you are in Great Britain. I am in Montreal, Canada. This competition takes place in Osaka. How did you feel it went?
I'm just thinking, is it good morning, good night, what time, whatever it is in the world? Thank you for joining us.
It's absolutely. It's a good morning. It's a good afternoon. It's a good evening. Whatever it is for wherever you are around the world. For all of us here at the ISU, thank you for watching. Make sure you join us tomorrow for day 2 of competition from Osaka, Japan. I'm Ted Barden for Mark Hanratty. Good night, everyone, or goodbye, everyone, or good morning, everyone. Whatever. Take care.